just playing Elden Ring, right?
Yeah. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Crit Couch. We are still talking about Elden Ring references, I guess. I'm Michael.
And I'm still playing Elden Ring. I'm Skyler.
He was noticing in our pause screen, and I didn't actually bring this up, there is a in-game map tracker here, so you actually do get to see as you've moved through a dungeon. If you don't have the full map that shows up like under the level indicator down there, you at least get to see the rooms you've been through.
This is not like a design related question. How familiar, like, because I realize I know this game, like, or of it, and it's one of those, like, I promise the three people watching this, I'm not playing the fool with these. Like, I've never played this game, so
yeah.
I know of it. I have probably seen lots of people play it, but like, how like familiar with, like, from start to finish the game do you think? Here and now, again, we were just mentioning in the last episode, like 40 years later, we're still playing Mario and Zelda games.
Right.
How familiar, like, with this original one do you think people are now? Like, complete generalization.
No,
like,
I mean, I genuinely don't know. I mean, it's... Okay, we're actually near the boss. You can hear the Dodongo going...
Oh, is that what it's the dungeon?
Yeah. This is actually funny because it gives you bombs since we actually bypassed part of the dungeon. We got 5 keys now because you can actually blow holes through the walls here. We're gonna head over and look at that other room just for funsies. It is hard to say. I mean, this game has sold a lot. It's been on a lot of like the online services over the years. It's had a lot of re-releases. Dodongo dislikes smoke. So Dodongo's weakness is a pack of Marlboros. Man, I played too much Final Fantasy because I call everything Marlboro now. It's like, that's not actually what the cigarettes are called.
Oh, yeah. Marlboro.
Because it's hard to say, like, how many people have just rebought Zelda multiple times, you know?
The Legend of Zelda was a critical and commercial success for Nintendo.
The game sold over 6.5 million copies.
Is that the original run, or is that in total?
I'm trying to find out right now. I think that's in total.
So I'm going to demonstrate something with the boss up here, since we've skipped the map, but whatever.
The Hyrule Fantasy Zelda no Densetsu one.
So here's Dodongo.
Oh, he's just a Triceratops.
Yeah, basically. So one of the interesting things about him being weak to smoke is technically to beat him, and anybody who's played current Zeldas as of the last 15 years or so know that you have to feed him bombs to kill him. One of the cool things, though... Oh, well, I just fed it to him from the side.
Yeah, that's how I like to eat my food.
But when it says he dislikes smoke, if you can actually tag him with smoke, like if you miss, it'll stun him briefly. It won't do damage to him. It's honestly harder to time the smoke for him than it is to just like get in front of him and throw a bomb in his mouth. And he only takes 2 bombs to kill.
When did you say this game came out?
In Japan, I thought it was 85, or at least development started in 85.
Yeah. Okay, you know what? Yep.
Because it came out a little later in America.
Yeah, I think you said 8. Wow, these are just fascinating.
What's that?
I've got the Wikipedia article because I was trying to figure out, like, it just says I can't figure out how many of the time it sold, but yeah. Triforce 2.
Yep, so we've got 2 units, and we've got our little Triforce thing being filled in there.
What the disc thing looked like in Japan?
Yeah, like I said, I've got one in my closet.
That is so cool. I will also send you a picture of this so that
so it's actually funny because, like, so what he showed me was the Famicom was in 2 pieces. There was the actual cartridge piece, which sits on top, and then the disc system is this unit that plugged into the back of it and went below it. Some of the early American cartridges, if you open them up, were actually just like... I mean, most American cartridges people are familiar with, they're the big gray boxes, but the chips in them only occupy, like, the bottom third of the case. But some of the original runs of games, they didn't even really alter the circuit boards that much, so they had these kind of, like, jimmied in Famicom discs or Famicom, not discs, the Famicom cart chip into the casing. That changed eventually. We actually haven't been to this piece of the map yet. So this is the far east side, and this is another area where, like, you might see if you were just exploring something that you don't really have an explanation for, like this thing right here.
Yeah, the little, like, bridge.
There is one other of those. I think there's actually only 2 of them in the game. But it's like, okay, so what is this? I don't know. This is actually a little pier. And if you have the raft, you can use the raft to launch off that pier.
Okay.
These are a little misleading because here they're the same looking things, but you can't actually like walk off onto one of them, right? So this is another one of those, like, okay, you take note of this weird thing, and you would really take note of it on this screen because there's just a big old heart container right there.
Yeah. How do you get to it?
So this is where that ladder I mentioned an episode or 2 ago comes into play because you can cross over. In the Japanese,
ladder.
yeah, in the Japanese version, you could actually gimmick this one. The little recorder, which, you know, these days we have the ocarina, and the ocarina kind of serves as the teleporter or whatever. In this game, it was the recorder. When you played it, it would like bring a little whirlwind across the screen, which would like carry you off. So in the Japanese version, if you timed it right here and you played the recorder, the whirlwind would actually sweep you into the heart container, and you could completely bypass it. We did come here for a reason, though, because...
Another monkey.
Oh, arrows.
Yeah. We don't need those immediately. We won't really need those for another couple levels, but...
Do you just have infinite arrows now?
Okay, arrows use rupees.
Okay. Hey,
Yeah,
it's on space.
It's a very interesting approach there. It's like, fortunately, you don't really need arrows that many places in the game. Oh, there is one other thing I want to demonstrate. We'll come back to this screen. There's a thing that happens on that screen.
Okay. So apparently...
So imagine, like, looking for stairways on this screen. You know, that first screen we talked about a couple episodes ago, like with the candle? Like, look how many trees here.
Sure.
There's nothing on this screen.
Okay.
So you could spend, you know, several minutes. If you have the red candle, it would be quick. If you don't, you have to spend all that time going on and off, hoping to try and burn down something in this forest.
Many hours later.
Okay, so the thing I specifically want to show off is...
I think your Triforce is becoming more complete.
Yeah.
I was reading that apparently Zelda also became the inspiration for Animal Crossing?
There were a couple of games...
What was that man's childhood like?
I mean, he wandered around the countryside, you know.
And met animal people.
Well, so we've talked about this in some episodes somewhere about how, like, hybridization is a really interesting thing. Because back in these days of games, like, I don't remember, it might have been the Soul Blazer series, which I don't think is out yet. Maybe. We'll see. But, like, hybridization in the NES days was very difficult to do. So if you had one idea, you could only kind of afford so much space and time to take it in one direction. So something like Animal Crossing, it kind of makes sense that, like, all right, I'm building Zelda. I have this idea for something that's maybe more farming or tame, right? But,
Sure.
like, I don't have the room to do all of the mechanics and stuff that I want to in this type of game, so I have to shelf that and use it later. I mean, the thing that I mentioned last episode about the firearm, I mean, that's kind of a contemporary to these games example of that, where it's like, okay, well, how do we fit in this weird firearm? It doesn't really work for Zelda's mechanics, but it makes a lot of sense for Mario.
Mm-hmm.
So this is great. Oh, shit. No, that's actually not...
What did you think it was?
Damn. Well, I don't want to spoil that piece. Maybe...
Nope. And now we go searching for stairs.
Right, now we do the thing that I talked about.
Nope. It was just funny because I just read very briefly too. Do you know where the name Zelda came from? Supposedly. I don't know if this is accurate or not.
Is that the whole like Zelda Fitzgerald?
Yeah. I wonder if that's true.
I think it was. Because then, of course, then the follow-up there is Robin Williams named his daughter Zelda after the game.
Yeah. I follow her on Twitter.
It's a secret to everybody. Man, now I'm really
These guys are just bros.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, so maybe what I was thinking, like, so maybe that one with the woman, I think that might be the second quest. Basically, what I was trying to do is, not everybody is kind when you burn their doors down.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, there's a couple of them where the old man is down there and he gets mad at you for burning his door down and he makes you pay for it.
Is it just the same old man every time, or are they different old men?
I don't know.
That little guy looked like he was about to eat the heart through his little schnoz. And he's like, oh, good. Got stunned. They're very pug-like.
Yeah, they're kind of doggish. Like if you look at their faces in the art, they have the kind of like jowly cheeks,
Yeah.
which they actually did a pretty good job of translating that into these sprites, I think.
Yeah. I just really like how like goblin-y they were in Breath of the Wild. They were just so fun. I still think I'm just off on a tangent now. We're a few episodes deep. Did you ever use the like amiibos on Breath of the Wild?
Oh, occasionally. So, something will like fall out of the sky, your treasures or whatever.
Yeah, because you could
Certain
only use
armors
them, like,
and weapons.
one a day. Yeah, because I never really got into the amiibos except to collect the Zelda amiibos for Breath of the Wild specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because you could get like different outfits. You could get the actual Link armor and stuff, which is real fun because you can get like the Twilight Princess or like the Skyward Sword one, where he actually has like the chainmail underneath a little bit, and the it's supposed to be like a mouth and an eye, right? I'm not.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
boy, that palette.
like it's like a cyclops. This one's
Yeah.
cyclopsy.
Are you okay?
I don't know. I'm the one that just climbed down a cyclops' throat.
Man, that's well, now you're gonna lose Link.
Yeah, I recall this one being like feeling like a much less neon-y green
Yeah.
on my old TV.
Yeah, it's very neon here. So you just reminded me of something I never finished actually talking about earlier, so I'm not going to talk about it now.
Was it the Mega Man thing?
No.
Oh no, we talked about that.
I'll bring it up. I've got it. Don't worry. Oh, they've got shields like you originally had.
These are the dark nuts.
The dark nuts.
Yeah.
He's
Can't.
He's a little nutty.
You can't hit them from the front.
Okay, so you have to like.
Which
get
is not a
behind them.
huge problem when there's only 3 of them. You have to hit them from any other side.
Okay, and that's kind of why like they'll chase you, but they'll carry forward a little.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
They're a little rough because they.
Watch your ass when you come through that door.
I don't know exactly what their movement pattern is, but they do sort of gravitate toward you, and they do have a tendency to. We have 7 extra keys, so.
Yeah. So open whatever doors you want.
Yeah, they do have a tendency to gravitate towards you.
Get him with the bomb.
But yeah, bombs are like a good way of,
Taking them out.
especially when they do that shit.
Nice.
Yeah.
But so Breath of the Wild, and the thing I was gonna bring up, with because I was talking about like amiibos and stuff.
Yeah.
I just remember thinking it was a little funny how you could kind of like, basically you could like spruce up your inventory a little bit
Yeah.
with it. I actually did lose what I was going to talk about though. So, anyways, and another thing, the PS, I was bringing up like when I was like 18, 19, I didn't remember, or I didn't know a lot about TVs, and I remember like hooking my PS2 up because I think I was gonna play Disgaea actually. Because like I just had never finished that game when I'd gotten it years before or something. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go finally finish that game. Very enjoyable, a lot of grinding though. I love tactics games, by the way. So I hooked it up, but I plugged it into like an LED. And I was like, why is everything so blurry as hell? Like, what is wrong with this game? Just not really understanding. And of course, that's how I found out. Like, it's just interesting to think, like, everything's so crisp here, but I wonder, we should get a CRT at some point and like,
no.
Yeah, we should. It'd be fun.
If I had like an actual separate office that could like house those giant ass things. Ugh. Okay, so these.
Well, don't they make some like flat screen CRTs now? Or am I
I have
they have
no
little
idea.
faces in them.
Yeah, there's little skulls. So these things, if they hit you, they don't hurt you, but you can't use your sword for a small amount of time after they hit you.
Oh, nice.
This matters because one, they move faster than most enemies do. They move in pretty straight lines, but there's usually multiples of them on the screen, and it can get really nasty when they combine them with a couple of other enemy types that we'll at least see next dungeon. But for now, we are going to episode break, and we will see y'all next time on Crit Couch.
Or maybe I'll remember what I was going to talk about like 2 or 3 episodes ago, like
You
the
won't.
Breath of the Wild thing. I cannot for the life of me remember what I was going to bring up about Breath of the Wild.
Next time on Crit Couch.
I just remembered what I was going to bring up about Breath of the Wild.
That makes sense.